Chapter 3. When he awoke, David was in darkness. He felt a soft movement and heard the sound of the sea. He understood he was still on the covenant. His hands and feet were tied and his head was aching. He was a prisoner. Some hours later, a door opened above him and an old sailor came down the stairs. He examined David's head and said, "Not too bad a head, young man. You'll heal fast." He bandaged David's head, then cut the ropes and carried him up to the cabin. David was laid in one of the beds there, and he was given water to drink. In the days that followed, sailors came to talk with him, including the cabin boy Ransom. They talked about their lives at sea and their families on land, and slowly David began to think that they were not totally bad men. Later, he discovered that the ship was going to a group of islands called the Carolinas. The captain and his uncle had agreed that David would be sold as a slave there. Ebenezer hoped that the boy would die there. One night, David was lying in his bed when he heard a door open. Then a sailor named Ryak entered, carrying Ransom on his back. The boy looked asleep, and there was a wound to his head. Hosizin and another sailor named Shaun followed. This man was sweating and looked sickly white. He kept rubbing his hand, and his eyes were wide with fear. "What have you done?" the captain yelled at Shaun. Why did you hit the boy? You've killed him." He brought me a dirty plate," said the man, but Hosizin looked at him angrily and he stopped. Then the captain said, "This must remain secret. We will say Ransom was lost at sea. Throw the body overboard." "Yes, sir," answered the man. Then the captain turned to David. "You'll take Ransom's place. I can't spare anyone else. I need my crew, and that's an end to this matter." David thought that this captain was a hard, uncaring man, but he said nothing. He felt very sad at the boy's death. Some days later, bad weather forced the ship to go back. One foggy night near the Scottish coast, they heard a great crashing sound. The Covenant had run over a boat. One survivor was taken aboard. He looked like a strong, intelligent man as he took off his thick coat. David saw he wore a sword. "This man is a fighter, but speaks like a gentleman," he thought. "I was on my way to France, Captain, and would be grateful if you would take me there," said the man. Hosizin said, "I can't do that, but maybe I can take you back to Scotland. I hope you are an honest man." The stranger replied. He took a money belt from around his waist and removed some coins. "Payment then for taking me to Scotland." The two shook hands. The sailors left, but David remained. Something told him this man would be a friend, so David decided to talk to him about his past life. The stranger looked at him seriously. "David, my name is Alan Stewart," he said. "I didn't want to tell that to anyone on this ship, but I'm telling it to you. The English soldiers have chased me for years, but because I fight for Scotland. I want Scotland to be free, not a slave country to England." David was loyal to King George of England, but said nothing, fearing that he would anger the stranger. The stranger continued, "I've learned to judge if others are friends or enemies. I don't trust this crew, except for you. So I'll tell you, I was taking money to my leader in France to help us in the fight against the English. Now that you know, you can help me and we'll work together," he said, and put out his hand. David gladly shook it. Just an hour later, David was passing the captain's cabin and heard Hosizin, Ryak, and others talking. They were planning to attack Alan and steal his money. Quickly the boy hurried back to Alan and told him all about the plan. Well, David, I thought they might try that." "Will you help me?" asked Alan. David nodded. I'll fight with you, he said excitedly.